Ladies and gentlemen, Gina Carano is absolutely obliterating Disney from orbit. It is one of the most entertaining things to watch her just go wild and steam the ham of Disney, of Kathleen Kennedy, and of Lucasfilm. And it's a lot of things that we've been thinking for quite some time. How on earth could they have mismanaged Star Wars and Indiana Jones and Willow and all these franchises, and it's coming to light that really, at the heart of it, is that you have terrible, terrible leadership that is evil and corrupt, and they're willing to do things that most creators would not be willing to do because they are so convinced that they're right. And I have a treat for you. Gina Carano. And thankfully, this has played itself out because I know how unbelievably harsh they're being on showing any clips from that South Park episode. It is ridiculous. So, we have a tweet from Gina Carano. This is the part where KK demands any YouTubers get censored off of YouTube for sharing and laughing at this hilarious episode. She'll have YouTube disable the thumbs down option because of the ratio she'll receive. Then she'll have her publicist ghouls make sure Variety and Hollywood Reporter run hit pieces about the South Park creators and their families, smearing their names through every useful idiot she has under her thumb who would sell their soul to work for Lucasfilm. She'll activate her online mob to repeat that the South Park creators are racist, bigot, transphobes, and demand the South Park creators publicly apologize by only using words she approves of. And finally, she'll demand they subject themselves to a re-education course of 45 people in the LGBTQ community Zoom call to sit there and listen to how badly they got their feelings hurt over a little boop of a South Park episode. But maybe, just maybe, the jig is up. God damn. That was devastating. Oh, and this isn't coming from, no. This isn't coming from just anyone. This is Gina Carano. That is unbelievable. So this is the tweet here. HBO and Max executives created an army of troll accounts to target critics of their movies and television shows, weaponized identity politics. Now, this is the real tweet that I want to go over, because this one is absolutely just unbelievably brutal. And it's what needs to be heard. Because so many people said, no, fans are just being toxic. In fact, other content creators that wanted to be in the good graces of Disney repeated some of the same shit that we hear were coming from bots. Do you think this behavior of creating bots was exclusive to HBO/Max, or that maybe other major studios do this as well? In 2016, Bob Iger and Disney was basically inches away from buying Twitter, but pulled out of the deal at the last minute, saying they did a little more research and said this about Twitter users. We, at this point, estimated with some of Twitter's help that a substantial portion, not the majority, were not real. What do you think that substantial portion of fake users grew to from 2016 to before Elon Musk took over X/Twitter in 2020? How big did the bot armies get? Who were the bot armies created by, and to do what? Why buy Twitter and deal with the headache when you can create armies of bots and can control the narrative for much much less money and energy. It does your promoting for you without making it look like you are promoting yourself. Look, it's popular on all these accounts, strangely liked by a bunch of accounts with no names. It must be good. But what if it was used for something much more sinister? These damn critical YouTubers have too many followers. They are gaining traction. Let's censor them. On top of sending in fake bot armies. Just enough to get the yes men and useful idiots on board and rolling. God damn, I love this woman. That leads to firing a person who thinks differently because they can't control their voice. Need a reason to fire her? Get this hashtag trending. Say she says something anti-Semitic when she isn't at all. Twist her words and hey, as long as it's in the headline, no one will ask any questions. It must be true. This is in reference to what they did to Gina Carano. And yeah, absolutely. It was weird how a bunch of people who, seemingly didn't have a functioning brain all came after her in this ridiculously harsh way for what she said. Which was, when you unperson your neighbor, when you treat them as though they're the enemy and that they're rats and or maggots, as these low IQ inbred piles of garbage tend to say, when you call them maggots, they're not human, they're maggots. I just call people on the left retards, but they're still human beings. They're disgusting, they're degenerate, they're low IQ bottom feeding, but they're still human beings. They're terrible, but they're still human beings. I actually told them in an email and over the phone about these bot armies and how they start the negative narrative, and then the young kids would join in, not realizing they're being manipulated, and then websites and small news jump on board to be cool with the kids, and before you know it, you're trending, and the Hollywood media devours it. I told them I believe that is what was happening to me, and she's right. There is a trend of this, where a seemingly inconsequential story is blown up out of nowhere, and then you have some of the most brain-dead, brain-rotted takes from people trying to one-up each other, and it would make sense if a bunch of attention seekers were trying to one-up a bunch of bots. A manipulated mob being used every day to spread propaganda to protect the most corrupt. They didn't need to buy Twitter. They just needed to buy the narrative. Why does everyone just laugh off the fact that when the suits do something wrong, it's, oh how silly those silly little harmless suits, instead of the suits being forced to grovel and correct the wrong they do, just like they demand so many others to. It's not like they don't know how to apologize. They wrote the playbook on fake apologies. They've literally destroyed careers and livelihoods and get sympathy pieces written on them, while those whose lives got destroyed for having an opinion that was before its time or made a mistake and hurt feelings get destroyed. Well, I can answer that. It's very simple. These suits are protected by large corporations and they have money. And so you have these mewling beta male losers in the press that are terrified of saying anything that goes against the established narrative because they know that they won't get insider access. And most, if not all of these people know that without insider access, without backing from the corporation, without them getting secret gifts and handshake deals, they're not good enough on their own. That's the dirty little secret. Most of these YouTubers, they know that on their own, they're not good enough. They can't captivate or entertain an audience. I'm not saying that I'm the most entertaining person in the goddamn world. But what I am saying is that I can function. and have an opinion on my own. Do you notice that I don't really do sponsorships? I don't do sponsorships. I have over 10,000 subscribers. I've been offered before. I don't do them. Because, well, not only, my channel is basically for fun. I do this for fun. Because I see this stuff and it makes me laugh or it makes me cry. It makes me feel something. But the reality is that there are people that are so desperate for clicks and relevancy, and they have to justify their existence based on the affirmation of these companies. I don't. And a lot of other people are in the same boat. They basically just given the middle finger to the system. But for me, I understand why these people do it. Because they're not good enough on their own to make things happen. That's their little secret. That's why they're not speaking up. Because they're afraid that they'll get whack-a-mole, and they are spineless. They don't have the charisma or the testicular fortitude to actually make it work. This action of bot armies is actually much bigger, is actually a much bigger offense than people are realizing. How many lives were ruined because of Twitter bots canceling them? In defamation lawsuits, you need to have evidence of intent to do harm. Defamation lawsuits are very tricky, especially when you're going up against someone with seemingly endless cash. I would say sending in bot armies to go after people they don't agree with more than qualifies as intent to do harm, and I believe a jury would agree. Could get very interesting if ex or current employees came forward with more evidence. Aren't you sick and tired of this abuse of power? Could you sell your soul and still not end up in the one? You could sell your soul and still not end up in the 1% this benefits. This is so goddamn true. You could get money, okay? You could get attention. You could get fame. Ethan Klein is a great example. He sold his soul to get money, to get fame, to get in the in-group. And look at him now. He's getting absolutely destroyed by the group that he set up to go after other people. And who would want to be in the 1% anyway, when it means betraying humanity and selling your soul? God, I love this woman so much. Holy shit. Don't pass the social credit score BS to the next generation. Artists throughout history are at their best when they're not in lockstep. It's what we love about them. And the irony is that George Lucas hated with a visceral passion the current Hollywood system at the time. He despised it. He stood against it. He trolled them every step of the way, including, hey, let me keep the merchandising rights for Star Wars. I can imagine, oh man, back in the 70s and 80s and 90s, people at the Fox Studios going, God damn it, why did we do that? Why did we let him keep... Why did we let... I like this. Great tweet. And look at this. People are just in utter support of what she's saying here because it's so true. It's so unbelievably true. You have been on fire lately. Now, I very much doubt that this will get coverage from content creators that usually talk on things like this, because it doesn't go in line with their narrative. They're not really, fans of people who speak the truth. People, I don't want to call anyone out. It's not the point. But a lot of the most prominent people on YouTube and Twitch who seemingly call out everyone, they're not going to say a word on this. That's my prediction. But they should. Oh, absolutely. This is a huge story. This is a big deal. And the reality is that, well, I've got another video to do on Star Wars. Pretty quick here, but what I want to say is this: Gina Carano was absolutely right. She's a treasure, and we're lucky to have her because it's very rare that somebody would be willing to stand by what they said to this degree, to go scorched earth on the Hollywood system. It's amazing. And I think that Gina Carano deserves a massive, massive round of applause. I'm not being sarcastic. I'm not, being rude. She deserves a round of applause for being that brave to go out there and to say that stuff. Yeah, absolutely. These companies were abusing bots, and we know it's true. We know it's true. Of course we know it's true. It's not just one little thing here and there. We know it's true. We've heard from other people. There have been other rumors in the past about Disney and other companies having these groups where they monitor on the line conversations and seek to fight it. Because these corporations realize that that is a form of marketing. And it's far less money than just spamming, this particular ad over and over. And it helps you control the narrative, and it helps you control your public and digital space. The reality is that these people, Lucasfilm and Disney, they are evil. They are evil people that had the opportunity to do the right thing 100 times over. And every time they choose wrong. Every time they chose to drum up some kind of fake narrative. Oh, the Star Wars fans are racist against, what's her name, Reva, whatever the hell her name is. I've already forgotten the actress's name, which is a good sign. What was it? I can't remember. I don't care to remember. All these controversies, all these things that they've ginned up. Oh, you were so mean to Captain Marvel. Every step of the way, the story has been this. They say something antagonistic, counter to reality that they know is going to get attention. When people respond, they accuse them of being terrible people and send these bot armies to go and farm for them and then have media write hit pieces. It is a sinister, despicable thing, and it's coming to light. And by the way, like you couldn't have predicted it, it doesn't work. It may work in the short term to do some damage, but you're not building anything. All of the criticism that you shut down is valuable. It is vital. It is intrinsic to our very being to learn and grow and evolve with the story. It would be boring, as is the case with anything Disney, to repeat the same thing. In Lord of the Rings, the story progresses, the characters progress, the world progresses. The whole point of the whole movie, or the books if you read the books, is that it is a progression of everything. Nothing is stagnant. Nothing stays the same. Nothing repeats. It may rhyme. There may be rhythms of the past, but nothing happens the exact same. Things evolve. Things change. People make different decisions. That is the beauty of life, and that is the beauty of great creators. So, ladies and gentlemen, huge, huge hat tip to Gina Carano. And I just have to say, Gina Carano saves the internet. What an absolute legend. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, I will bid you a good day. And I will see you next time.